Okay, and we're back, and I know you read the title. That's right. This is technically the finale, but the title says how I did it because, well, as you see, I'm already here. Unfortunately, I wasn't recording when I got here, but I did save the replay of the last game that I played to get me up to there. So I will watch that to see exactly how that went. We were obviously using the best team ever, the twice as toxic solid silver hero. I've used it many times. I plan to continue to use it. I'll leave it in the description, of course, but yeah, that's right, dude, we did it. We're literally, our main account is number 1, the one that we're on right now. Our second account is number 2, and our third account is number 3. That's it. So that's literally it. We're done. We can finally leave RU now. Okay, we're done. This series is over. We can start touching NU maybe, or go back to UU, or even do some more OU stuff. Who knows? Or you know what? I might hit up PU. Anyway. All I know is that we're top 3 here, and yeah, here's the replay, I guess. We'll obviously play this, and this is a very long game. The reason I wanted to show you this game is, 1, because it was the last game that we played in order to get us up to 1447 on our third account, and it's also a very long game, so I wanted to actually just show you how to handle playing a long game, because I know a lot of you expect or understand that I do play a lot of stall. So here's a little tip, I guess, on how to play in fatter matchups where you're also getting kind of stalled. So we'll see. Okay, so we lay drop in, of course. Obviously, knockoff is huge against any fatter team, so I just want to click knockoff as many times as possible. Here he has Stunfisk. I don't want to risk him earthquaking immediately, so we go hard Decidueye, of course. Then I Spirit Shackle just to see if he wants to stay in, try to get up rocks. I can Spirit Shackle him, and then essentially PP stall him down and defog, and eventually make it so that he loses his Stunfisk, and I have rocks off the field, so that'd be amazing, obviously. Anyway, a couple turns happen. He goes Scrafty, I go into Aromatisse, and then I switch out into Weezing to Willow the Stunfisk, of course. He still isn't setting up rocks, which is a very bad play on his end. He wants to try and get Chip as much as possible, as early on as possible, in order to force as much wishes, as much milk drink, as much all types of recovery he wants to force ASAP, because in the long run, every single PP of recovery moves are going to come into play. Anyway, now we have Drapion in, and I can actually pretty safely just click knockoff here. Because he's burnt, I don't take that much from Earthquake, and getting rid of its leftovers would be great. So here I Toxic on the Vaporeon, get the Toxic off on Vaporeon, which is great. He Wish Protects, that's fine. But yeah, we're just going to continue to spam some knockoffs. If he wants to Heal Bell, obviously we can't Toxic, but him being Flip Turn, Wish Protect, it actually kind of tells me that he might not be a Heal Bell, especially since he has a Vileplume in the back, which means it could likely be Aromatherapy Vileplume. So he just spams some Moonblast as he brings in Scrafty, and this Scrafty, as you'll see later on, is going to be a very big problem. But yeah, he Aromatherapies the Vileplume. So now we know that Vaporeon is not Heal Bell, or if it is, then we probably just lose the game because double Cleric would be pretty annoying to play with. But anyway, he goes Scrafty or Aromatisse. As you see, I'm always going Aromatisse because that's the only thing I've got knocked off as of now, right? So the everything else, I want to preserve my item on as long as possible, at least until the end game when I can start forcing some kills. Then I'm okay with getting rid of leftovers because, like, you know, losing leftovers to trade for a kill is a-okay with me. But anyway, more turns happen, and yeah, we keep going Aromatisse on the Scrafty. We just never want to let any items get knocked off. I will eventually go Weezing and let that get knocked off, but I still want to just PP slash some more of his Drain Punches, Bulk Ups, Rests, whatever from Scrafty before I pull the trigger on going Weezing. But yeah, here, more and more of the same exchange. He lets us knock off his Scrafty, which is very good for us, because now this thing will be forced to rest much more often, and that's great, because that's less recovery PP for us to worry about. Anyway, we click Wish Protect, and our Aromatisse wishes are getting kind of low, so we have to start playing somewhat conservatively with those. But not yet, not quite yet. Anyway, we spam some Seismic Tosses. Obviously, he can't recover enough with Strength Sap, because we're no attack, and even if he does Strength Sap, like, we go down -1 attack because of the Strength Sap, and then he can't continuously recover. So here, as you'll see, he recovers only 42%, and then if he tries to spam Strength Sap here, he will just get less and less and will do more and more damage. So he realizes that and switches out into Scrafty, but as you see here, he's getting very low, so he's forced to rest now, which is great for us, because, well, unfortunately, Sedge can activate, but that's one less rest PP to worry about. And yeah, more turns here where we just pass Wishes to Miltank, trying to get more and more progress on the PP stall war, so that's great. We Toxic the Scrafty here as he Shedskins. Not that bad, of course. We still get, well, you get nothing out of that, but, you know, we get to just waste a turn. Anyway, click Wish, we protect. Another PPF Flamethrower being gone is great for us. And yeah, now we go Drapion. And yeah, this happens for quite a bit, where we just rest, and then we knock off, and then we rest, and then we knock off. And yeah, here we knocked off there, and then we go hard into Aromatisse. He Drain Punches, and once again, our wishes are getting fairly low now, so we have to be kind of careful. We wish one last time, I think, before just wasting any more wishes. So yeah, we pass into Drapion. Try to incentivize this to stay in and click Knockoff, but obviously he doesn't give it to us, so we just click Toxic on the Scrafty that wants to come in. That's fine. We go Aromatisse one more time, and yeah, now we're at 10 wishes, and we just have to start playing very conservatively with these wishes now. Wish one last time, we click Protect here because I want our Aromatisse to be somewhat healthy in order to take on the Scrafty in case it does bulk up. Yeah, now we go Drapion on the Vileplume, which is totally fine. Vileplume just actually cannot beat Drapion 1v1 because we're Rest Sleep Talk. We just PP stall it, which is great for us. We spam some knockoffs, and yeah, he gets the Shed Skin out, which is fine. We go Aromatisse again, not letting anything get knocked quite yet, although eventually we will have to go Wheezing because coming in with Aromatisse over and over, we're taking Stealth Rock damage and we're going to run out of Wish PP, but yeah. We go Toxic on the Scrafty, and he doesn't get Shed Skin, so we get 6% chip, which means he'll be closer to being forced to rest, as he does right there. Now we go from Aromatisse into Wheezing, as here I want to gauge his damage, so I go Miltank. And from this, it seems to be fairly offensive, so I don't feel comfortable leaving in Wheezing versus the Charizard ever, but we can just get some more Seismic Tosses here. And yeah, as you see here, this is a very, very long game. Not much happens until very mid-game, where you start to see the PP actually come into play. But anyway, we continue to Seismic Toss. And yeah, he clicks Aromatherapy. So now he's at 6 Aromatherapies. That's another important one to keep in mind. The important things to keep in mind in this game are Wishes from Vaporeon, Rests from Scrafty, and Aromatherapy / Strength Up from Vileplume. If Vileplume runs out of either of Strength Up or Aromatherapy, we win the game on the spot. If Vaporeon runs out of Wish, we essentially win the game on the spot as well, because that means less recovery for the rest of the team. And if Scrafty runs out of Rest, we also win on the spot because, well, he cannot continue to do his bulk up and knock off and force things out shenanigans once he runs out of rests. Here we Wish one more time, and then we click Protect here. Obviously, Stunfisk having leftover still is kind of annoying, but we can go Quagsire here. And here I think I actually switch out. No, I just click Toxic. Yeah, I could have Scalded. Scald is probably slightly better, but it's fine. He clicks Giga Drain there, as yeah, we bring in Drapion. And again, we're just going to continue the plan of trying to PP stall everything with Drapion. Here we go Aromatisse on the Scrafty. Not quite ready to let the Wheezing get knocked yet, so that's fine. I believe we just double into Quagsire expecting the Charizard, as we do. Perfect. And now I think I click Scald. Yeah, looking for a Burn on Vileplume. If we get the Burn on Vileplume, that really hinders its passive recovery from Black Sludge, but unfortunately we don't get it. We go Drapion again. We're slowly PP stalling this thing's moves, which is great. He goes Scrafty as we knock. Again, not bad for us, not bad for him either. We go Aromatisse as he Drain Punches, and here is the tipping point, I believe. We click Wish, and then we click Protect, I think. Yep, to PP stall one more turn. Here must be Air Slash, which is kind of threatening, but not that bad. Because what this means is he can actually try to flinch your Miltank down with the Paralysis as well. As he exactly tries to do that. And unfortunately for him, but luckily for us, he doesn't get it the first time. He gets it the second time. He's going to continue to go for it. He gets it the third time. Now, if we don't get the Milk Drink off here, we're in a rough spot, but we do luckily get the Milk Drink off, so that's great. He goes Stunfisk, because I believe we just Seismic Toss. And now this is going to be forced into a situation where this needs a Wish right back in order to live. He goes Vileplume once again. And here we're running low on Seismic Tosses, but I'm okay with trading some more Strength Saps for Seismic Tosses, so I'm okay with just staying in and clicking Seismic Tosses. He goes Vaporeon here, and unfortunately for us, we get very unlucky and we get double parried. If he didn't get paralyzed any one of those turns, we would have been able to force this into like a much, much lower health bracket. But here, as you see, he's still at a very low health bracket, and he passes into Stunfisk instead of protecting. So now that's great, because anytime Vaporeon comes in now, literally any attack will kill it. Any attack from any of these things will kill it. Even if it's literally Will-O-Wisp chip will kill it after Rocks, so that's great. Here we click Earthquake again, we're going to force another Strength Sap here. Obviously, he can't get Giga Drain on the Drapion because that won't recover anything, so he does click Strength Sap as we go Drapion. Now, I'm not sure if we rest or if we click Knockoff. Either or really works here. We do just rest. Yeah, that's fine. Aromatisse comes out on the Scrafty. He clicks Drain Punch. I don't think we wish here. That would be pretty bad. We don't want to waste any unnecessary wishes, so we do double into Quagsire. That's great. And now we just click Scald again, I think. Oh no, we recover in case you want Air Slash. That's also fine. Our Quagsire is pretty much full on PP, so we don't really mind wasting recovery PP on Quagsire. As we go Wheezing here, and he's just spamming Knocks Off. So here, he made the right play, obviously getting rid of the Black Sludge on Wheezing. This is the turn that I was talking about where we eventually go Wheezing, and we start PP stalling its rests a little bit, so I'm okay with this trade here. But yeah, we just Sludge Bomb a couple times to set up T-Spikes, because that's just... T-Spikes are essentially useless PP, so what T-Spikes do in this game is they essentially just provide us with 32 free turns where we're not wasting PP. That's the mentality you have to look at it when T-Spikes don't do anything in the game. So he goes into Charizard, and we have to go Miltank, of course. He's going to continue his plan trying to Air Slash flinch us down. Here, he gets it, I think. Yep, he gets it there. And then, does he get it again? He does get it again. So now, if he flinches 2 more times, we lose the game. But luckily, he doesn't even flinch 1 more time, so that's fine. And then he continues to go first. And this is a very bad play on his end because, well, 1, we broke through and got the Toxic off, so now it's another Aromatherapy PP gone on Vileplume, but also he's wasting a lot of Air Slash PP. He really should save those until we're in a position where he actually can, like, reliably flinch us down. Like, he should just spam Flamethrowers and get us to the point where we're forced to Milk Drink, and then eventually we're going to run out of Milk Drinks, and then he can Air Slash us down and try to do that. But he doesn't as we go Aromatisse here, as he rests on Scrafty. I believe we might Wish here. Yeah, we do Wish here. We need to get Aromatisse a little bit more health here, so we click Protect on the Vileplume. That's great for us. Now I think we go Drapion, and yeah, okay, so here is a very important turn, I think. So I'll pause it and I'll tell you why. Because we're resting, this is the only opportunity for Vaporeon to come in and Wish back up, I believe. So, obviously we're going to click Sleep Talk. We have a 2 out of 3 chance of getting any, like, either Toxic or Knockoff killed Vaporeon. If we don't get it this turn, we click it again next turn, and we still have that same chance, the 2 out of 3 chance on Vaporeon. So in total, we have an 8 out of 9, I think, right? Because the chances of us getting neither of those in over 2 turns is right. So we'd have to get essentially rest 2 turns in a row, which is 1 in 3 times 1 in 3, which is 1 over 9, of course. So yeah, we literally have an 11% chance of not killing the Vaporeon, which is also equivalent to an 89, pretty much 90% chance of killing the Vaporeon. So he obviously has to go for it here. That's the only chance I'll get to bring it back up, but we're very favored. So here, we click Sleep Talk, and we get the Toxic, so that kills him. Like I said, we did have an 89% chance to take that Vaporeon out over 2 turns, so it wasn't super lucky, but it did help us, of course. It wasn't a guaranteed kill on the Vaporeon, but we get it immediately. So now, okay, so I guess here's one more thing I'd actually like to talk about. Whenever you can kill a Pokemon, okay, regardless of how much PP it requires, just do it. Because that's literally removing that Pokemon plus all the PP it had. As you see here, the Vaporeon had 28 Flip Turns left, 12 Wishes, and 13 Protects, and then an unknown move, which could, let's say, it's another 16. That's so much more PP that he could have utilized, but luckily, since Vaporeon's dead, not only do we not have to worry about the Wishes, we also don't have to worry about the other, like, 50 PP that he had. So that's great for us. And now we're actually in a winning position, so all we have to do is start PP stalling this Scrafty's rests down, and we should be just absolutely winning. So, yeah, we'll see what happens here. We click Will-O-Wisp, obviously. He can't get the Shed Skin, because we have Neutralizing Gas, so the burn damage will start to rack up. And we click Sludge Bomb again. We're going to start forcing more and more rest from Scrafty, which is great for us. And yeah, we just keep Sludge Bombing. And now we go Aromatisse. He gets the Shed Skin off, which is unfortunate, but who cares, really. And I think we just Wish here. Yeah, that's fine. Because we're winning, we can afford to waste some more PP. We just want to get our Weezing back up. So he clicks Sludge Bomb as our Weezing gets back up to 85 because of the Wish. And yeah, he brings in Charizard as a B setup T-Spikes. Again, we're just wasting turns with those T-Spikes. And he's going to continue with his plan of Air Slashing us down. Here, it is somewhat okay to do because he does get the first flinch, and now he should go for it again. And unfortunately for him, he doesn't get the second flinch. I'm not entirely sure what the chances are of Air Slash flinching or a para happening, but I don't think it's likely to happen 3 times in a row. So unless he gets me into a position where he only needs 2 in a row, he actually shouldn't do that. But yeah, we'll see, I guess, what happens. Anyway, he clicks Giga Drain as we click Seismic Toss. Again, we're going to try to PP stall some more Strength Sap or any move from this thing, really. As soon as this thing runs out of moves, the game is definitely over. So we go Drapion again. We have no reason not to. We just wake up, click knockoff. We have so many knockoffs, so we're okay with expending like 30 of them, realistically, yeah. We go Weezing once again. Now, our two things versus the Scrafty that are safe are Weezing and Aromatisse, because we don't have an item and we just start PP stalling this thing to rest down. So we will Wisp here. Again, burn damage is going to rack up. It's essentially the only thing that we can burn aside from Stunfisk and Vileplume. Obviously, the Charizard and the Heliolisk will force us out every time. So he goes Charizard, and I think we just rest here. Or no, we knock off. Knock off was fine too. If you wanted to click a Fire Move or Air Slash, we could have gone Miltank the next turn and then rested up on the Vileplume. So it's not that bad. We click Moonblast here. We get the drop, which is cool. Not huge. It's not gonna matter that much. Obviously, that means that he's much more unlikely to get the flinch us down plan going, but it probably wouldn't have happened anyway. Again, it's unlikely to get it 3 times in a row. I believe, I'm just doing mental math, but I'm fairly certain that the Paraflinch chance on a non-Serene Grace Pokemon is very low for 3 times in a row. So anyway, we will Wisp again. We're going to start PP stalling this thing's rest down, and he doesn't care. He's just spamming his moves. So now I'm actually more comfortable with letting more things lose their item, because we don't need the items on anything anymore. We're just in a pretty much winning position. We just need to start PP stalling this thing's rest down as much as possible. We click Wish and Protect. We're running very low on Wish, but luckily we don't need Aromatisse that much anymore. We might want Aromatherapy eventually, but other than that, we don't really need Aromatisse. Anyway, we click Miltank on the Charizard. As always, he's going to try to flinch us down. He gets it there. He does it again, I think. Yep, he gets it the second time. And here he crits. So obviously, if we didn't get the Milk Drink off there, he needed to get it another time because of leftover. So it was still unlikely, but he did get 2 flinches and a crit. So not enough for him, obviously, but pretty lucky still. Anyway, we get paralyzed there, which is fine. We go Weezing on the Scrafty again. It's one of the 2 safe things that we can go into, and Aromatisse still has some PP left over, so I don't want to go into that and waste more wishes. So I'm okay with just going Weezing and PP stalling this thing down. And again, he's just spamming his knockoffs. Doesn't really care about his PP here. So we click Will-O-Wisp. Obviously now we can rest freely. As he goes Charizard, that's fine with me, of course. We do still have the Miltank here. And he actually doesn't have enough Air Slashes to bring us down with the Milk Drinks and leftover. So he Air Slashes there, and he doesn't get the flinch. Finally, for the first time in ever, he doesn't get the immediate flinch, which is good for us. As we Seismic Toss here, and again, he's running low. Well, he's not running low yet, but we're okay trading more Seismic Toss PP for the Strength Saps. And yeah, he's going to Giga Drain here, and as you see, unfortunately, that plus Black Sludge is actually recovering quite a bit of HP, so we're not going to be able to infinitely stay in here and Seismic Toss. As you see, he actually ended up with slightly more than he started with over 2 turns, so that's fine. And Aromatherapies here, as we would just Milk Drink up, yeah. Now he's getting low on Aromatherapies as well. He only has 4 Aromatherapies, but our Miltank is getting low on Milk Drinks, so now we actually don't have that as a switch in on the, or we can't really stay on Vileplume either. We're only going to be using Miltank to stay on the Charizard, if I do recall correctly. Anyway, I go a couple more turns up and I go Weezing, and he brings in Stunfisk. We go Decidueye here. Nothing too out of the ordinary. We Spirit Shackle here. Technically, the correct play was Roost there. We want to be as healthy as possible for the Heliolisk coming in, but Spirit Shackle wasn't that bad. Anyway, he clicks Rest as we go Weezing. He brings in Stunfisk. We only have 1 turn left of sleep, so here I'm okay with waking up and clicking Will-O-Wisp. Unfortunately, we miss, and fortunately, he misses his Thunder Wave too, so nothing happened out of that turn, but 1 less PP, I guess. Anyway, we go Quagsire here, and Quagsire is actually going to start forcing some more things. Because it brings in Vileplume, so we can bring in Drapion here, and he essentially took 6% on the Vileplume, getting closer and closer to having to use another Strength Set, which is great for us. We go Weezing here on the Scrafty, which is totally fine. He's, again, running pretty low on Rest, so that's great. We click Rest as the Charizard comes out. Okay, that's fine. We still have the Miltank. We still have 6 Milk Drinks. Not ideal, but not bad. I think we Milk Drink here, but, oh no, we Seismic Toss. Yeah, Seismic Toss was the better play anyway. So yeah, that's great for us. And here, I know he has Strength Up. He can't actually do any damage that turn, so we're going to click Seismic Toss. And now I think we actually might stay in a Seismic Toss again as he Giga Drains. Yeah, that's fine. As long as we don't get parried, he's in a pretty not so great position here. He's going to try to Giga Drain us down. Obviously, we have to Milk Drink eventually. We Seismic Toss 1 more time, and here I think we have to Milk Drink in order to stay a check to the Charizard. as luckily we do get it off. If we didn't get it off, we can just try for 2 more turns, obviously. And he's running low on Giga Drain, which is great for us. Clicks Giga Drain here again, and now Vileplume's back to a decent HP stat, but he is getting low on Giga Drain, which is great for us. We have Drapion still, and we click Knockoff. We click Rest here because it's pretty free. No reason not to click Rest. Yeah, really no reason not to click Rest. We go Weezing, of course, which is, again, free onto this Crafty. And we burn 1 turn asleep, and then we go Quagsire on the, what's it called, Stunfisk, and then he burns in Charizard as we click Scald, which is great for us because he's getting closer and closer to having to use Strength Sap that he clicks right there, which is great. He only has 7 of those left, and at this point, it's starting to see where this game is going, where he only has 5 Air Slashes on the Charizard, which isn't even enough to break through Miltank unless he gets like 5 Air Slash flinches. He needs to get all of those. First, he needs to land all of those. Then he needs to get all of those to flinch us down. And then even from there, he still needs us to get paralyzed another turn with a Flamethrower like 2 KOs, but he flinches there, which is good for him. He tries 1 more time, and he doesn't get it. So now he only has 3 left, and it's actually impossible for the Charizard to flinch Miltank down. So yeah, this game is pretty much over, and we just have to start PP stalling this thing's rest. Again, he's down to 6 PP on the rest, so more damage is more damage. Here, something new happens, so I'll pause and talk about it. He goes into Heliolisk for the first time. We go Decidueye. Obviously, it's just our mandatory response to Heliolisk. And yeah, we try to Roost here because we have no reason not to Roost. It's just becoming healthy again for when the Heliolisk wants to come out next. Unfortunately, we get paralyzed, but we can go Miltank and Milk Drink up on the Charizard here. Or we can Seismic Toss even, but unfortunately we get paralyzed, so we don't get to see what we did because I don't quite remember. Honestly, either Seismic Toss or the Milk Drink would have been fine. Here we go, Aromatisse on the Scrafty, and again, we're okay with wasting some more wishes, but here we Aromatherapy. And why do we Aromatherapy on this turn? Because, well, Aromatisse is pretty much useless, and we're gonna pretty much just waste more turns. We're gonna click Protect, we're gonna click Aromatherapy, we're gonna click everything but Wish, because Wish is gonna be reserved for when we need it in order to keep Aromatisse alive as much as possible, so that we can utilize as much PP from Aromatisse as possible. So anyway, we go Decidueye to finally get the Roost off, and now it's definitely over, because the Heliolisk can't even break through our Decidueye at this point with enough paralyzes, because obviously we're not paralyzed and we're at max HP, so very unfortunate for him. Here we clicked Wish as he goes Charizard, and then we click Moonblast, obviously on the expected Roost. No drop, but that's fine, we have Miltank, and he literally cannot Air Slash flinch us down because we're not even paralyzed at this point. And yeah. We click Seismic Tosses a couple more times. We're going to waste more Strength Sap PP, and yeah, this is where this game is going, as you see. We go into Drapion. Not looking good for this dude still. Of course, he goes Crafty, and now we're actually okay with letting Drapion get knocked off as well. We still have 14 rest, so losing the item on Drapion isn't that bad. But obviously not that turn. We still want to force as many rests as possible before we do that, but yeah. We double into Drapion here on the expected Vileplume. He's taking 6% this turn, or overall, over those 2 turns. And now we click Knockoff. And here, I believe, I pull the trigger, and yeah, I'm okay with letting Drapion lose the item here. But because we have 14 rests, and his entire team's recovery PP is starting to get lower and lower, we don't actually lose much by just keeping Drapion in and wasting more and more rests, or more and more anything from this Crafty, to be completely honest. He bulks up there, but we have Quagsire. And since he only has 5 rests, we can actually PP Scald this thing with just Earthquake, Scalds, and Toxic. So again, we're okay with losing the item on Quagsire as well. We click Earthquake here, and he's getting closer and closer to having to use another Strength Sap. So that's great for us. And we go Drapion, of course. He Strength Saps there, and he only has 5 left. So this is pretty much unwinnable for him unless we really choke. But we click Rest here. Yep. And we can even just stay in and Sleep Talk a couple times. Yep, we get the knockoff for a 3% chip, which is obviously huge. No, kidding. It's not huge at all. But anyway. Yeah, we click Sleep Talk at the Toxic game, doesn't really matter. We're just clicking Sleep Talk in case he ever expects us not to Sleep Talk and goes Charizard. If we get the knockoff on Charizard, it just expedites the game. So, he clicks Rest as we bring in Weezing on the expected rest, and now we get to rest right back up with our Weezing, which is great for us, so that's awesome. Yeah, now we go Quagsire, of course, on the Stunfisk. We force progress every time Quagsire is in. We either get Earthquake on the Vileplume, which means that he's going to run out of more Strength Sap PP, or we're going to get the Scald Burn on the Vileplume, which means he's going to lose his passive recovery and still get closer and closer to using Strength Sap. So he realizes this plan, and he realizes that he's just in a completely lost position, and he forfeits. So as you see here, from this game, we gained 12 points. We went from 1635 to 1647, which is exactly where our authority count is now. And yeah, that's it, boys. We're top 3. Like, this has been a pretty tough journey. Obviously, I went on super tilt a couple times because, well, I was super close. I didn't record it again, but yesterday I was number 5. I just need to get, like, literally maybe like 10 more points and we would have done it, but I went super tilt. I lost 1 game and then I dropped down to like number 36, and it's just been a long journey is what I'm trying to say. Anyway, now that we're top 3, we can finish off the RU. I hope you enjoyed this video and this entire series. If I'm being completely honest, it took quite a bit of work on my end, but anyway, yeah, hope you enjoyed. But yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. Bye.